How do you get into this thing? Today I'm going to be changing the rear differential fluid on this BMW X5 E70. The rear differential, which is this right here, is pretty standard on previous generations and more current generations. I happen to have in front of me a E70 version, and there's only one way in order to remove the old fluid and replace it with new fresh fluid, and that's through here, this plug here, and that's a 17 millimeter Allen bit that fits in there. What you have to do is crack it open, take it out, and then the process is removing as much of the old fluid as you can with a small hand pump, and then pumping in new fresh fluid until it starts to drip out. Then you know that you've hit full. That's pretty much the process. So what I'm going to do is get all the tools that I need, which is really a ratchet in order to crack this, and I'll demonstrate how to replace the fluid. So I have it all set up. I was going to use my ratchet, but I believe I need a breaker bar because it could be really snug. So I'm going to give it my first shot to see if I can crack it open. Oh, and I did it. It took a little bit of effort, but it's loose now. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a little container here just in case something flows out. And then I'm going to get the little pump that I made. It just out of household pieces, an old soap, a pump, and some tubing. You don't really have to get anything expensive in order to pump it out and then pump fresh fluid back in. What kind of fluid is needed here? The gear oil is, the weight is 70W90. There are a number of different brands out there, but as long as it's 70W90, that's the type of viscosity that's required for the rear differential. The front is different, and I can do that in another video, but this one here is 75W90. So here I am almost taking the entire plug out. Yeah, and there was a little bit of drip. So here I am with my little jerry-rigged hand pump. You can see the old fluid is starting to come out as I'm pumping. And I'll just keep working at it until I can get all the fluid out. I may have to keep readjusting the little tube inside the differential and try and maximize the evacuation of all of the old fluid, but I'll keep working on this slowly until all of it is out. I finished the pumping out process, and this is what I was able to get out. This is about a liter, a quart or so. This is all pretty dark fluid. It's been in the car probably for 50 to 75,000 kilometers, 50,000 miles. So it is time to change it and maintain the gears in there. So now I'm going to get set up with the new fluid and start pumping it in. I may want to elevate the rear of the vehicle just a little bit more, just so that this differential is a little bit more level, because I am a little bit on a slope, but I'll make that judgment call before I start pumping it in. One thing that I failed to mention that it's important to check is to see if you see any sort of metal fragments in the oil that you remove, because that's an indicator of gear wear and a bigger problem with the differential mechanism itself. This oil here, while dirty, has no metal fragments in it, so I know that there is no internal damage to any of the gears inside. So before you discard that oil environmentally, have a good inspection of it and make sure that there is no metal fragments. If you do find metal fragments, you may need to look into having the differential removed and inspected, or in worst case scenario, having the differential replaced. I've set up now my other hand pump in order to start pumping in fresh fluid. I lifted up the differential to be a little bit more level so I can get just a little bit more in to make sure it's full. So the gear oil is again 75 W90, and all I'm going to do is just keep pumping until it starts to roll out. That's my indicator that it's full. So here I go. Keep the hose in the bottom. So I've set up my torque wrench, and the recommended torque spec on this fill plug is 44 foot-pounds. I wouldn't go above that because it's very fine thread and you may end up damaging it. So I'm just going to very carefully torque it. There we go. I'm at 44. It wasn't too much effort. Now it's all sealed up. New fluid is in there. I'm going to drop the vehicle and the job is complete. I'll record what the mileage was and the date so that I can keep track. I'll probably want to circle back to this in another 3 to 5 years and replace it again. The next one will be the front differential, which has a different weight gear oil, but I'll demonstrate that when I do that one. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching this comprehensive DIY tutorial on replacing the rear differential gear oil on a BMW X5 E70. Use only 75W90 synthetic gear oil and ensure the fill plug is properly torqued to 44 foot-pounds after refilling the differential with 1 quart or 1 liter of new oil. Please ensure vehicle is properly chocked and lifted. Also, use proper eye protection and dispose of old differential oil environmentally. Please subscribe to our channel, Drive Chris Capredoni, and watch our other informative videos as your source for vehicle reviews, analysis, maintenance, and restorations.